Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of Star Trek Adventures from Modiphius. Your mission: explore the universe, command your crew, and boldly go where no one has gone before. From official miniatures and dice sets to rulebooks, gaming tiles, and story guides, adventure is only a warp jump away. Visit humanisttrek.com/Modiphius or click the link on our website and use code TREK for 10% off.
Hey everyone, this is Eugene Roddenberry.
Dr. Mohammed Noor.
Adam Nimoy, Leonard Nimoy's son.
This is Leonard Crowfoot.
This is Dr. Aaron McDonald, Star Trek Science Advisor and Lieutenant Commander McDonald on Star Trek Prodigy.
And you're listening to
Humanist Trek.
Humanist Trek.
You're listening to Humanist Trek.
the Humanist Trek podcast.
And you are listening to Humanist Trek, a fabulous, fabulous show.
Enjoy.
And don't worry, you can do your Temporal Mechanics 101 homework later.
This episode of Star Trek includes scenes of sexual assault. Therefore, this episode of Humanist Trek includes discussions of this topic. Listener discretion is advised.
Perhaps I could use this as an excuse to go to those far-off planets with little polka-dotted people if necessary, and be able to talk about love, war, nature, God, sex, all those things that go to make up the excitement of the human condition.
This is Captain Jean-Luc Picard.
Welcome aboard.
Jean-Luc Picard to the Starship Enterprise.
You want to review your rapid progress?
That nonsense is centuries behind us. To the Starship Enterprise.
Oh, yeah?
That is enough, damn it!
Tempo, mon capitan.
To the Starship Enterprise.
But you can't deny that you're still a dangerous, savage child race.
Of the planet Earth.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Peldor Joy, and welcome to Humanist Trek. It's a comedy Star Trek podcast about the humanism in Star Trek. I'm Sarah Ray.
And I'm Allie Ashmead.
And Allie, what's new with you?
Nothing much. Nothing really new. But okay, so when I was watching this episode, I took a trip down memory lane that I wasn't intending to. You know that scene where Troi and Ral see each other for the first time, and there's like a palpable, like pretty intense reaction to both of them. And I thought back, like, has that ever happened to me?
Oh, that's an interesting question.
Like, have you ever met someone and there was like that instant connection? And I was like, you know what? I have. It was so long ago that I forgot about it.
Okay.
I was like 19, 20 years old. And the guy that I was dating, who ended up being my first husband, we were on a break, okay?
Yes.
And I was a waitress, and I met this guy. We'll call him Chef, because he was a chef.
Hello there, children.
Hey, Chef. We were young, though. And it was instant. It was like so intense that it like the butterflies made me like nauseous. It was like weird. He was a little, maybe like 5 years older than me, but very, very mature, world, street smart and everything. And I fell so hard for him, but I wasn't thinking at all. And the thing was, he was so manipulative. He was a very bad boy. And it was totally not my type, but I could not stay away from him.
Isn't that crazy how that works?
It's crazy. And he was so toxic. he was so manipulative. He would tell me when I expressed how he hurt me, or like, oh, you're manipulating me, and I would get upset. He would tell me, well, get some balls about yourself. He would tell me that.
Damn.
And I'm like, okay, finally, I did get some balls about myself.
And kicked his ass out.
And I wouldn't answer his calls anymore, and I told him to leave me alone. And he kept calling. And eventually, it was an intense, probably 2 months of my life, and I never forgot it. And so I got to wondering, I'm like, wonder what happened to him. I literally thought that he would be dead. because I remember him calling me once and saying, "Hey, I'm in jail. I stabbed someone." I'm like, this was the kind of guy he was. This was the kind of
Wow.
he was bad news, toxic, manipulative, and so fucking addicting. And so I thought he was dead. So I remember his name.
Did you Facebook stalk him?
Yes, I found him, and
Uh-huh.
I figured he'd be dead, but no, he's alive. And I'm like, and I'm looking through his shit, and I'm like, damn, I dodged that bullet. I dodged that bullet.
I don't have strong memory of any like moments like that.
Mm-hmm.
Mostly because I don't have a memory much at all. I don't remember what happened on this show last week. So there's that. But so we've been moving into this rental and
Right.
getting shit put away and getting rid of things. And so we had like so many picture frames in the old house hung on the walls everywhere. And so we're trying to decide like, okay, what are we going to hang up here? What are we going to put back in the photo boxes? And then do we want to get rid of some of these frames? So we're going through all of that. And so I pulled out the photo boxes last night and we started going through and
Memory lane.
Memory lane. Yeah. So one of my favorite stories was, and every story started pretty much like, oh, this is the Canadian girl that I fell in love with one time. And this is Joey. I went to school with her and I had the hots for her. And we were in jazz choir together. And one of the songs that we did had a little dance number thing that we had to do. And so she and I were paired up together and I was just like, bum, 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 bum. And so
That's how all of your stories were.
all of my stories start like that. But I had the hots for this girl so bad. And then we got to dance together and I was scared of that, and then it turns out, so the picture, I showed them the picture of us on stage together and we had to wear we had tuxes and bow ties and shit and they had black dresses.
Mm-hmm.
And so I said, this is a girl I had the hots for a while. And she is wearing the dress that I borrowed long before I came out, long before I transitioned.
Oh.
I ran a DJ service.
Right.
And my buddy Aaron and I DJ'd his sister's Halloween party one year. And so he went as the pimp and I went as his hooker.
Oh,
and I wore Joey's dress as the hooker. Oh, yeah. It was great.
Oh, wow.
And I do have a photo of that.
Full circle.
It's really bad. I was wearing like Birkenstock sandals with pantyhose. It was bad, Allie. Big long wig, bad, like thick makeup. It was so bad.
My gosh.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but all of my stories start like that. Oh, here's a girl I had the hots for.
And maybe that's kind of what this felt like. It was intense and it was, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Here's another question. When was the last time you logged into eBay?
Years.
Right? I used to be, I was a prolific eBay user once upon a time.
Why? What's happening on eBay?
The most recent eBay I've used was I bought Susan Sackett's book. That's how she sells all of her stuff is on eBay.
Really?
Oh yeah, she has a whole store on eBay. A lot of it is her old like Star Trek memorabilia stuff.
It's been a long time. I don't even remember how to log in.
So she has unused stationery from back in the day when she worked with Gene.
Mm-hmm.
Her books, of course, that she's written. And then there's just like newspaper article clipping stuff and
Make It Snow, books, t-shirts.
There's a collector's plate. Yeah, so she's just like unloading all of her Star Trek shit, basically.
Mm-hmm.
She's had scripts on there, I believe. Anyway, so that's the last time I used eBay. But once upon a time, I bought all kinds of shit. eBay was a thing we all used, and I don't think of it as nearly the commonplace place to go buy a thing anymore.
Yeah.
And I was just curious if you had that same experience of like eBay was such a 90s 2000s thing or whatever,
It was, and I specifically remember the movie 40-Year-Old Virgin.
Yes. Uh-huh.
That we sell your shit because you want to get rid of it. That's people just bid on it. It seems like it's more like a marketplace to sell stuff.
Yeah. Well, maybe you could buy a wormhole on it. Strap in. It's Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 3, Episode 8, The Price.
Commander, you'll soon be getting an intruder alert.
What? I've got something, sir.
Intruder alert, sir.
It's an old-style starship, sir. Constellation class, heading this way under impulse com.
Number one, kindly take charge of our guests until we have time to decide what we're going to do with them. Sir, number one, keep them out of my way.
Troi comes home from a long day of vaguely sensing things on the bridge. And she has her Alexa read her notifications. And to add insult to injury, her mom has been sending emails again. Now, I don't know if I'm reading too much into this moment, but it is hilarious because Majel Barrett Roddenberry is both the voice of the computer and her mother. And I swear there was a slight hint of attitude when the computer said, a research inquiry from the Manitoba Journal of Interplanetary Psychology and 3 communiques from your mother.
Yes.
There sounded like a little bit of stank on the end of that.
And then when she was arguing with the computer about ice cream is when I'm like, she's just having a conversation with her mother.
Yeah. Yeah. So she's already having a shit day. And then her mom's trying to use the computer again. And then when she tries to get some real homemade chocolate ice cream from the replicator, the computer's like, that's not how replicators work, and you know it. And this is clearly the answer to this week's Starfleet Academy Cadet Challenge. This is where we see Troy's love of chocolate for the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, things just couldn't get any worse. And then Picard calls down because there's delegates on board for something, and he's like, really would like you to join us up here. We're about to have some drinks and see this wormhole for the first time. And she hangs up and mutters, God forbid I should miss seeing the wormhole for the first time.
And she's like, I'm not dressed for a reception. He's like, well, just throw on any old thing. we're going to miss the wormhole. Oh, my God.
Marina is crushing it already in this episode, though.
Yes, she is.
I love the exhausted snark. And then as she rounds the corner towards 10 forward, she does that thing with her face where just before the door opens, she like takes a minute and like visibly prepares herself for social activity.
Yep. She puts on her mask, basically. Yep.
Yeah. And Riker darts at the door the minute it opens. And she's like, Bill, I swear to God, if there's no chocolate here, I'm leaving.
He takes her arm and escorts her into the room, and Picard starts introducing people.
There are loads of guest stars in this episode.
So many people. The premier Bovani of Barzan.
She's got long gray hair and some device attached to her face, what looks like the business end of a stethoscope on either side of her mouth.
Yeah, but do you remember the Barzan in Discovery?
I do.
This is the old school version of that.
Yeah. That's cool. I love that, like, Discovery went back to this episode to pull a species out. You know, that's pretty cool.
There's so many that we only saw once, and like, why not use them?
Yeah. Glue a stethoscope to the side of your face is pretty easy makeup, I guess.
Yeah.
Bhavani is played by Elizabeth Hoffman. Her credits are not many. She was in Little House on the Prairie, Dante's Peak, and her final 2 credits are 2 episodes of Stargate SG-1. She played Dr. Catherine Langford.
Oh, her! Oh my gosh! Dr. Jackson's grandma for your SG fans.
Apparently, she/her people are the ones that discovered this wormhole, and she hopes that somehow it will lead to prosperity for her people as this cavalcade of aliens logs into eBay to start bidding.
So now there's Leor of the Caledonians, who Picard also introduced.
This is 7 foot 2 inch tall Kevin Peter Hall, who you know better as the Predator.
Yeah, he was such a sweet guy.
And I know him as lovable Harry from Harry and the Hendersons.
Yeah.
His height kind of pigeonholed him into a lot of Monster of the Week type roles. Yeah. And here they have glued a gigantic butt to the top of his head.
He's got an ass on his head. And sadly, I do know about him. He passed away shortly after this, like a year or two, maybe after this. He died from age-related disease because of a bad blood transfusion. So, gosh, and do you
Mm-hmm.
remember like how lucky are we today to?
He died. This says he died from AIDS-related pneumonia.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
because he had a
Wow.
blood transfusion like a few months before that, and back then AIDS took you quickly,
Yeah.
and now they have a way of at least keeping it to where it's undetectable.
Mm-hmm.
So, how lucky
Yeah.
are we?
And how far we've came in such a short time.
Yep.
He's also wearing these gloves that make his hands look like cloven hooves or something. I thought was fun.
I didn't even have to go back and look now. I
Yes,
didn't
you
see the
do.
gloves.
We also have Mr. Mendoza, the Federation negotiator, played by Castillo Guerrera.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know him from anything specific, but IMDb thinks Terminator 2 and The Usual Suspects are noteworthy. And then Dreamboat McDreamyface introduces himself, Devinoni Ral. And I guess if you're into the greasy hair, steely blue, gray eyes, you might find yourself daydreaming of Matt McCoy.
Yeah.
He had a decent run early in his career on the 80s series We Got It Made, which I don't think I've seen.
I don't think I've seen, but I've seen him on something else, like a lot of stuff.
Yeah, he did a lot of guest appearances like Golden Girls, LA Law, The Nanny, Melrose Place. He's probably best known for The Hand That Rocks the Cradle,
Yeah.
where
Yeah.
he plays the husband of a woman who comes forward to report a sexual assault by her gynecologist, played by John Delancey. So now I want to watch The Hand That Rocks the Cradle.
That's old. I remember
Yeah,
that.
it is.
There
Yeah.
was so much buzz when that movie came out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah, I just remember his eyes were just the most dreamiest of the entire 90s decade. I mean, everybody wanted that guy with those eyes, so.
Anyway, the string music does not swell. Rather, everything about this interaction just gives us the heebie-jeebies. The background music, his unusual manner of speaking, his facial mannerisms. Like, it just seems like something's off about this guy.
But him and Troy, they lock eyes. It's like they can feel it. It's like she could feel him from the other side of the room. It was that kind of weird, intense thing. Yeah.
Mendoza says this guy is the best hired gun in the business, which Ral explains that it just means I'm a good negotiator. You know, I'm really good at what I do. And this time he'll be negotiating on behalf of the Chrysalians.
Which we never see.
Nope. The wormhole is about to appear, and Bhavani explains that it opens every 233 minutes because of a radiation buildup in the accretion disk. So everybody goes up to the windows and 10 forward as this wormhole opens. And I did not remember the visual of this thing, and that caught me a little off guard. It did not look like a wormhole at all to me.
Well, I wonder, was this the original like graphics or
a remaster? I don't know.
Yeah.
I've tried to look. Sometimes Memory Alpha has like the before and after pictures that you can compare, but this one didn't have anything.
Yeah, it looked like a blue glowy planet with a white thing in the middle.
Yeah. But apparently this is the only known stable wormhole for now, of course. And Bhavani's ready to start the bidding. But before we get that, a creepy throw to theme as Troi turns to see Ral looking at some type of way, staring at this wormhole.
Picard to Counselor Troi.
What? Yes, Captain.
The pleasure of your company is requested, Counselor. We're having a little impromptu reception for the arriving delegates.
Captain, I'm not really dressed for a reception.
Oh, Counselor, just throw on any old thing. We're about to get our first look at the wormhole.
Of course, Captain. I'm on my way. God forbid I should miss my first look at the wormhole.
One interesting note from Picard's log here, the wormhole appears to be a permanent shortcut to the Gamma Quadrant. There's a little foreshadowing, and another one will come later.
Yeah.
The auction has moved to the conference room where Bhavani explains that her world is inhospitable to other life forms, which probably explains the stethoscope mouthpiece thing.
Yeah.
And she's talking about how her people have always been consumers, never producers. So they're way out of their league here with this wormhole, but it's the first natural resource that they've ever had. and she's got to find a way to exploit it, hence this auction for control of the wormhole.
Yeah. Riker breaks in and says that there's a delegation of Ferengi who want to be beamed aboard, and they weren't expecting the Ferengi. But Bhavani says, yeah, go ahead. I don't want to create ill will. Everybody's welcome to come in and bid. And so Picard tells O'Brien to go ahead and beam the Ferengi directly into the room that they're in. And three of Ferengis arrive, and they're just, their body movements are so funny and comical because they're like, ugh, they're like, I don't know what the word is, but jittery.
Yeah, jittery is a great word.
And they all three are there, and one's holding a big purple bag, look like a bottle of Crown Royal or some shit.
So the lead Ferengi starts bitching right away about not being invited. And this is Damon Goss, played by Scott Thompson, who you probably won't recognize through the ham, but he was in Twister, Police Academy, Fast Times at Ridgemont High.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. His colleagues are Cole, who is carrying a bright purple sack, presumably filled with gold press latinum.
or Crown
Royal, played by J.R. Quinones, who was not credited for this role. He goes on to be Bob Picardo and John Billingsley's stand-in / body double / photo double.
Nice.
And interestingly, the character of Cole is seen again, but he was recast to another actor. And then we have Dr. Eridor, played by Dan Shore. He played a detective in 20 episodes of Cagney and Lacey. And
wow.
He was Billy the Kid in Bill and Ted's Excellent Adventure.
Wow.
This episode is just a cavalcade of guest stars.
Yeah.
So we were in the conference room, the Ferengi beamed in, and Goss introduces his team and goes, we'll need chairs. And this kicks off a great bit of comedy. Worf is slightly behind Picard, and Picard introduces himself, and I'm the captain and the host of this whole thing. And Goss is like, great, get us some chairs then. And Picard's like, well, no, wait just a damn minute. And Goss goes, fine, have your Klingon servant get us some chairs then. And now Worf is like, wait a minute, I'm in charge of security. And Goss goes, well, then who gets the chairs?
Hilarious. So Picard says, due to the delicate nature of the negotiations, where all parties should only have one representative. So I'm going to give you my chair, and the rest of you other two get out.
And then Picard races for the exit, and outside the door closes, and he leans back and lets out this big sigh. So good. Goss sits down and opens up the sack, revealing a pile of gold. And his opening bid is, I'll match anyone else's offer and add the gold on top. And he seems pretty pleased with himself here. Troi is back in her room doing some scanning up on Facebook. She got a Google search in one tab, Facebook in the other.
She did what I did. She was like, I'm gonna Google this motherfucker. Who is this guy? Like back when I was 20, there was no Google.
No. Now you can find out just about anything about anybody.
Yeah. So she's finding out about this Devinoni. He's 42, born in Brussels, European Alliance. He relocated at age 19 to Hercos 3. And just then,
ding dong,
ding dong, ding dong, bing bong. He gets a knock on the door.
Guess who it is? It's Ral. And I certainly don't remember how this scene played the first time I watched it.
Yeah.
But today it feels very sexual assaulty.
It feels so ick.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
There's a lot of consent missing here.
Man, have times changed, and I'm glad.
Yeah. So he's come to invite her for dinner, and she's like, what happened to that arm candy you had with you earlier? And he's like, oh, I sent her home, and you know why. And Troy's like, oh, were you not getting along? She's playing,
And he's like, don't do that. He knows.
Yeah, don't do that Counselor Troi bullshit with me. This exchange, he is like circling her like a lion and a gazelle. The whole time he's walking circles around her. It's real fucking creepy. And then he touches her, no consent. She tries to object, but he like shushes her and starts fucking up her hair.
Mm-hmm.
And he says, look, okay, first of all, if you're going to run your fingers through my hair, that is not how it's done.
First of all,
First of all,
you don't touch my hair, no, motherfucker.
Yeah.
But like back in the late 80s, this was like seen as seduction and sexy.
Yeah.
Now this is fucking, like you said, sexual assault.
Yeah. And then he says dinner at 8 and then leaves. And we're left with Troi looking very uncomfortable. Like there is this dissonance between the whole love at first sight thing, because they didn't do, when they saw them for the first time, they didn't do the da 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 da.
Yeah.
They didn't do this big swell love moment. It
Romantic.
was creepy.
They didn't do the romantic music.
Yeah. And this face here too seems a little creepy too.
And it, like the audience assumes that it's sexual attraction, I guess. And I guess that's what they want us to assume, but it's more than that, I guess.
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to read.
Yeah.
My name is Damon Goss, and these are my counsels, Cole and Dr. Arador. We'll need chairs.
I'm Captain Picard of the Enterprise. I am serving as host for these proceedings.
Good. Then see to it we get some chairs.
Let me explain.
Fine. Just have your Klingon servant get us some chairs.
I'm in charge of security.
Then who gets the chairs?
So Data, they're in the ready room, and Data is given the stats on what the Barzan probe has brought back about the wormhole. Apparently, it's pretty impressive. It's delivered the probe beyond the Denkiri arm, which is in the Gamma Quadrant. And apparently, it would take like 100 years to go there at Warp 9. But they can achieve that in like a few seconds. And then they're like, God, imagine if the Ferengi had this. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, they'd have toll booths set up on both ends.
I know, with collecting, and then they would scan your license plate, and then you get a letter in the fucking mail. Which reminds me, I still have something, one of those to pay.
You're gonna have to. Oh my God, are you serious?
Yeah. Yeah. They just, all they do is they add late fees on it. They don't do anything to you. But Mendoza chimes in that Ferengi's not the greatest threat at the table. Riker thinks it's Devinoni that they have to watch out for. And Mendoza's like, you're right. How did you know? And you must play poker. And of course, Riker feigned ignorance. Well, poker, what's that? And of course, and I know, and of course he has a master class in poker. He's great at bluffing.
Yeah, that was a classic Frakes moment that I just loved. One thing that's hanging in the air is whether or not this really is a stable wormhole. The Barzans don't have space flight. Why have we interacted with a pre-warp civilization? Hello, Prime Directive.
The Prime Directive. How often have you broken it?
See, the Prime Directive has many different functions.
The Prime Directive?
There's more what you'd call guidelines than actual rules.
It's a very interesting proposition. Let me think it over.
I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, all they could do is throw a probe at it, and their findings aren't exactly conclusive. So there's a worry that the Federation could buy the rights to this thing, and then it be, as Picard says, a proverbial lemon. And of course, Data's like, hang on, proverbial, what did you say?
What's that? And he's like, later. We'll talk about it later.
Riker and Data are anxious, way too anxious to go into this wormhole. And Picard's like, hang on, guys. After we do our scans and probes and shit and make sure it's safe, then you can go tomorrow. Meanwhile, in the Ferengi's quarters, if you were wondering why this daemon is traveling with a doctor, it's revealed here. He extracts something from Goss's neck and then pours a bit of it into his hand, explaining that these distilled pyrocytes from Goss's blood are harmless to himself, undetectable to the ship's biofilters, but it would cause an extreme allergic reaction when it comes in contact with a victim's skin. So Goss is off to shake hands with the Federation representative and hopefully take him out of the eBay auction.
Motherfuckers. In Troy's quarters, she's getting ready for dinner at 8, and Ral comes to the door, and she's wearing a really beautiful off-the-shoulder blue dress, and she invites him in for a drink. And then he makes a comment about her her living quarters off Federation decor. And she's like, it's not your style. And he's like, well, conformity is not my style. And they do this sort of like flirting, heavy flirting, foreplay. And then she says, what would you like? And he kisses her.
Yeah.
Again, no consent or anything, but she doesn't resist.
But that's not consent, people, friends.
Yeah, you're right.
You need clear, enthusiastic consent. Can I kiss you right now? Yes. That's what you got to have.
Yeah. And he makes a comment about her demeanor, like, oh, there she is again, Counselor Troi. She's, not being open. And he kind of makes her feel like accusatory, like that's a problem.
Because she pulled away.
That's something that men do too. Is like, oh, you're pulling away. There you are. There's something wrong with you. And so she orders champagne from the replicator, but he asks for 2. And he's like, am I moving too fast? And then she says, no, she's moving too fast for her own good. But admits that she hasn't stopped thinking about him all day. And she's just really off kilter. And he likes it that way. They're going to be late for dinner. He kisses her again and picks her up, and we know what happens at that point.
Yeah. He's going to have her for dinner.
Yeah.
Mendoza is staggering down the hall into sickbay and collapses just inside the door. And meanwhile, the Ferengi are in the ready room, accusing Picard of trying to win this auction unfairly because they've gotten wind that Picard's going to send the manned probe into the wormhole. And Picard's like, I promise I will share all of our findings with everyone. But of course, that's not good enough. And finally, Riker is like, fine, then send your own fucking probe.
And that's what they're going to do.
And then there is this flash to Picard. Did you write this down?
No.
There is a flash to Picard, and I'll pull it up if you want me to, because it's fucking gold press latinum.
No.
If it lasted any longer, he would have broken the fourth wall. But I swear to you, he looks straight into the camera like, can you fucking believe these guys as he sits down?
I'll bring it up because I don't remember.
Okay.
It's like one of those comical things where the actor acknowledges the audience for just a split second.
Yes.
Searching.
Okay, Riker says,
Then send in your own probe, Goss. That's exactly what I intend to do. And I should strongly suggest that you stay out.
It is gold.
oh my God, I swear that was a fourth wall break.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, shit. So funny.
And that's exactly what I intend to do. And I should strongly suggest you stay out of the way. You know what one thing we should do for patrons is we should pick a very comical episode and then you and I read the script and then we do the different characters.
That would be fun. Yeah. Okay, we got to pick an episode.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Ferengi are going to send a probe too, and they storm out as Crusher curls Picard down to sickbay. So Picard and Riker drop in, and we learn that Mendoza is definitely out of the eBay auction for several days. And back out in the hallway, Riker and Picard jump straight to Ferengi as suspect numero uno.
But now, since Mendoza's out of commission, he wants Riker to fill in because of his poker instincts, and he's the obvious choice. But Riker's like, I don't think poker, prepares me for this. But then Picard's like, well, the stakes are higher, and that's when the game gets really interesting.
I think that Devinoni is the one that we need to watch out for.
An accurate observation. How did you recognize that?
Well, he was the most comfortable one in the group.
You must play poker, Commander.
Poker? Is that a game of some sort?
On the bridge, they're all watching as the Ferengi pod is in position in front of the wormhole. And then, of course, LaForge and Data are in their shuttle, and they're also in position.
Geordi tells Data, if we get stuck on the other side of this thing and I have to spend the rest of my life in this shuttle, it is not going to be fun. And Data's like, sure it will. You got me to talk to.
Is this like a different shuttle pod? Because they're super, super tiny. It's like a car. It is a cardboard box, let's be honest.
Yeah.
But it is so tight quarters in there.
Yeah, I think this is a Type 15 shuttle. This is the same one that Picard took when in Times Squared when he saw his future self in a shuttle that they picked up. But yes, this is not the full-size normal shuttle.
Super tiny. They asked the Ferengi if they want to take point and go ahead, and they're like, no, you go ahead. So on the bridge, they show the wormhole coming through this time. And this time, you can see like the little hole. And I just wrote big blue anus because it looks like a big blue anus.
So the big blue anus opens in the Enterprise shuttle and the Ferengi pod enter and they quickly lose communication with the shuttle. So in the conference room, Riker has now picked up the paddle for the Federation in this auction and he presents his bid to Bhavani and Ral decides to fuck with him a little bit. He's like, you know, Bill, if you don't understand something, I hope you won't be too embarrassed to come ask me. And Riker's like, oh, no, you didn't. Riker says, you know, commanding a starship seems like decent preparation for a situation like this. And Ral pulls on that thread talking about how the United States sticks its dick into everything, every war, bombing ships it thinks are full of drugs, but doesn't have evidence for, snatching up leaders from other countries. I mean, is this the kind of country anybody wants to do business with?
Exactly.
And Bhavani doesn't get to speak here at all. But she does look like maybe she hadn't considered that. And Ral's like, Switzerland, on the other hand, represented by me, we're neutral all the time in everything, and we'd prefer to keep it that way. Oh, and by the way, we've had peace for 10 generations. If you're just, you know, trying to choose what kind of people you want to do business with.
And then he turns off the PowerPoint. And that's the end of that. And then that's the end of that scene. I felt like there's something in this whole episode. I didn't like the scene transitions. It was like, then they switched to another scene.
Jerky.
Yeah, it wasn't smooth. Because the next scene.
Oh, let me do the next scene, please.
Yeah, I'll just start it. The next scene, they switch immediately to Troy's quarters. And guess what they're doing?
Ral and Troi are doing foot stuff in her bed. Yeah. And listen. I don't know if this is Marina or an insert of a foot model, but she got some cute feet. And,
she had her toes painted. She had her toes
She did.
painted.
She got a pedicure right before this episode was filmed. And you know, I am notoriously into feet.
I didn't know that.
Oh, everybody knows
I wouldn't know that. I wouldn't know that.
Oh, he has got her all oiled up and rubbing her foot, talking about how
they so fucking greasy. Like they're so greasy right now. What's going on?
So he got the baby oil out and he's like, I bet I could make this auction go longer so we can fuck around some more if you're into that. And she's mostly just moaning, but she flops back onto the bed and starts asking about him because she just cannot read him. And this is just one red flag after another.
Mm-hmm.
He knows that she's Betazoid. When did he find that out? Nobody introduced her as Counselor Troi, the Betazoid.
And she can't pick anything up from him either. So that should also be another red flag.
And she says that never happens, but that totally happens all the time. Sorry, Captain, I can't read the alien on the other ship very well. He's happy that she can't read him for reasons that will become clear later. Mm-hmm. She pushes him back on the bed and straddles him, and he's like, so what's with you and Bill? And she's like, okay, that one you couldn't possibly have known. Who have you been talking to?
Yeah, but he says he's sensed.
No, I just got a feeling. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That should have been another flag.
Yep.
Whatever.
Speaking of weird feelings earlier, Troi says when she first saw him, she felt like she had been waiting for him and she can't figure that out. Mm-hmm. And he tells her that he too is part Betazoid.
1/4, a quarter, because his mom was half Betazoid. And they had 5 kids. And out of all those kids, he was the only one who had any sort of telepathic ability.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so he kind of confides this in her. And he talks about how he wasn't comfortable sensing everybody's emotions all the time. And he's trying to play this like, you and I are alike in this way. And that, you know, it isolates us. We're an isolated kind of people because we're different, you know.
Mm-hmm. Manipulative.
Yes. Yeah.
But I'm telling you though, his dick game is strong because she
keeps coming back.
Yeah, she and it happens, when you're manipulated, when the dick game is strong, you just let it happen, and they let you do it,
Uh-huh. God. So he says, I felt so isolated that I hid my heart away, protecting it. And then there was you. There were bells on the hill, but I never heard them ringing. No, I never heard them at all till there was you. No, that was in The Music Man. And the Beatles covered it. Come on.
Sorry.
Anyway. Meanwhile, on the shuttle, this is the hokiest looking shot since TOS. They cut this ship is this tiny fucking ship, and it's very clearly like
cardboard.
Plywood, cardboard, yeah. And the shot from outside is very clearly on a soundstage somewhere. Like, it was not great.
They are shut out from the blue anus. And they are in normal space now, and everything's functioning normally. And then Geordi, being the great, sweet guy that he is, checks on the Ferengis, and he's like, "Hey, how you guys doing over there?" And then they're like, "How we're doing is no concern of yours. We're competitors, not partners. So fuck off."
And I didn't think about this in this way until right now, but this comes off of the episode where Geordi put aside his shit and was working together with an enemy. And so this is just such in his character to be like, let's check in on those guys and see if they're all right.
He's just amazing, and I love him, and I love LeVar Burton so much.
Data's brow furrows, and he's like, hang on, we're not in Kansas anymore. This is not the Gamma Quadrant where the Barzan probe ended up. We're in the Delta Quadrant. Lost in the Delta Quadrant? That's the second foreshadowing of this episode. And of course, nobody was writing toward DS9 having a wormhole to the Gamma Quadrant or Voyager getting lost in the Delta Quadrant, but here they both are in the same episode of TNG.
Yeah. Something's really, really wrong. And LaForge is like, well, maybe the Barzan readings are wrong. But Data's like, well, maybe the readings were right, but then the probe could have exited the wormhole at a completely different location. So there's something wrong. But then LaForge starts picking up some subatomic fluctuations. Meson and lepton activity is increasing. Something strange is happening here. There you go, call.
You know, if this doesn't work, the thought of spending the rest of my life in here is none too appealing.
There is a bright side, Geordi. You will have me to talk to.
This next scene is a TNG classic.
Absolutely.
They have taken a hallway playset and stuck a mirror at each end with the camera carefully positioned, not to be seen, while Bev stretches in this tight spandex gym onesie get up. And then Troi comes in and she's wearing one too. And this is such TOS, like highlight all the bits and bobs wardrobe sort of design.
Yeah.
But also it feels like Bob Blackman, the costume designer, he came on during the season. It's like he's looking at 80s fashion going, well, it's always going to be this fucking crazy from now on, isn't it? We'll never go back to wearing normal clothes. He just didn't use neons.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They had basically ass string.
Yeah.
And
their tits were framed with the fabric. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, this reminds me of that movie with Jamie Lee Curtis and what's his name? Remember?
Chewbacca? Yeah. Remember Alex? Remember? Hey, remember Ghostbusters?
Remember?
Remember? Jamie Lee Curtis and John Travolta, they were in the exercise class and they had those high cut, do you remember that?
Searching.
Perfect.
Jamie Lee Curtis in exercise class.
By the way, I fucking love Jamie Lee Curtis in her golden years. She is fucking amazing. She is like hardcore activist.
Yeah.
Badass.
She's still badass.
Mama.
Embracing
Yeah,
her
that's
age.
what it is. It's perfect. 1985. An investigative reporter travels to Los Angeles to write a piece about the fitness craze.
Mm-hmm.
No, I didn't watch this. I've never seen this
You've
movie.
never seen that one where they're dancing and they're in he joins her exercise class. She's got this high cut leotard on, which was the fashion in the 80s, and you can see all her bits and bobs, literally. And I feel like this was like kind of like a.
Oh yeah, I see it now. Yeah.
You see all her bits and bobs? Yeah.
Yeah, it was like that, but then there was also like a legging that went under it.
Yeah, so Troi and Crusher had this ass string with some leggings underneath. Like literally it was ass string.
Yeah, that was from the movie Perfect.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I never saw it. Anyway, this scene is a great girl talk scene.
Mm-hmm.
Troi rushes in a little late and starts doing stretches, and Bev's like, damn, girl, you're unusually limber this morning. And she's like, well, Devinoni Ral really stretched me out before I came here, so I don't really need to do too much stretching. She's worried that she's moving too fast, and Crusher talks about some dude she fell for like this before she met Jack. And by the end of the chat, Troi is like, I don't know, maybe I should slow down. And then they both pause for a beat and go, nah.
Yeah. And honestly, that's how it goes, though. It's like that intense. That's not the guy you marry. That,
You have a good time with him, though.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
you know it's going to end in disaster. But
Mm-hmm.
you just do what you got to do.
Damon Goss is in the bar trying to chat up Enterprise crew people who keeps getting rejected, while Ral and Leor sit at a table and talk about this situation. And Ral is doing that thing he did with Riker earlier, but now we know he's empathic.
Mm-hmm.
So he's clearly reading Leor and using that against him. He's like, I gotta say, man, I was really surprised to see you people here, because you're so scientific and scholastic and stuff. And, the administration of a wormhole is probably more than y'all can handle. And this sinks right in because smash cut to the conference room where Leor announces his people are withdrawing from the eBay auction.
And again, a terrible transition.
Riker offers to negotiate a trade deal with him and add their resources to the Federation's bid, but it seems like the Chrysalians already made that deal. And when Leor leaves, Riker's like, hold the fuck on, Ral. And he accuses him of having either really great instincts, not likely, or much more likely, foreknowledge of the Caledonians' withdrawal. And Ral tries to take a pot shot at the Federation and adds the Caledonian resources to his bid. Meanwhile, nobody seems worried about Geordi and Data. It's been a while since they left, right?
Yeah.
What the hell?
On the shuttle pod, though, the Forge is like, I'm telling you, something's changing. He's trying to tell the Ferengis that something's wrong, but the Ferengis aren't going to leave. They're not done taking their readings. He's like, you're probably looking at the same readings I'm looking at. This is not the Gamma Quadrant. And Ferengis decide to just continue to poke around and confirm for themselves. And they try to impress upon him that this side is not stable.
The Ferengi are like, it's 40 seconds until the wormhole appears again. Everything's fine. We'll leave then. And Geordi's like, no, man, there's something really not cool going on with this wormhole. We got to get out of here. But Eridor hangs up.
Yeah, it's going to be sooner than 40 seconds. And Geordi gets frustrated with them and says, come on, follow us. And they say no. And he calls them idiots. He's like,
oh, shit. God damn it. You've got to be kidding. Come on.
And he says, you know what? We're going in with or without them. And they go into the event horizon. As the Ferengi watch, and they're like, man, they really panic under pressure. But then they watch the wormhole open and then close and zoom off somewhere else. And they're like, oh, shit.
Yeah, their jaws hit the floor as they realize that they're stuck here. Troi and Ral are having dinner, and things have gotten awkward pretty quickly. She accuses him of using his empath powers for evil, taking advantage of people to win eBay auctions, and worse, you hide that you're an empath. And he's like, oh, really? Is this what we're going to do? All right. Do you announce that you're an empath to every alien race that you bump into? Or do you use it to give your side an advantage? And Troy's like, fuck, you've been watching Star Trek The Next Generation, haven't you?
But typical manipulator, like when you call out some behavior, then they turn it around on you.
This is some gaslighting bullshit
Oh
right
my
here.
God. Yeah.
Yep.
But
Yeah,
in a way, he's right. But she does say that it's for a matter of protection. It's for life and death. What they're doing.
Mhm.
And but he's like, yeah, for your protection and your crew and your captain, but I deal with property.
Nobody dies dealing
Yeah.
with property.
Yeah.
You know, your shit is life and death. Mine's not. So you're the unethical one.
Mm-hmm. And then he gets up and leaves.
Mm-hmm. Dinner is over. No fucking tonight.
No.
What did he think was going to happen when he told her who he really is?
Yeah.
Come on.
He wasn't going to be able to hide it for good.
You're unusually limber this morning.
I'll say. Devinoni Ral.
It's ridiculous and wonderful. I feel completely out of control. Happy, terrified. But there's nothing rational about this. Who needs rational when your toes curl up?
In 10 forward, Riker is nursing a drink and doom scrolling on his iPad when Ral invites himself to join. And this is some serious dick out, balls on the table encounter.
Yeah, and it's like chess. Again,
Mhm.
like in the last episode, they're playing chess again with words.
Yeah. Or as the episode would like you to believe, poker.
Poker. Yes.
Ral tries to use Riker's insecurities against him. Ral says he's willing to make a deal before we find out what Data and Geordi learn.
Mm-hmm.
But Riker can't take that risk. The Federation would flip out. And then there's Deanna. Ral's like, she's extraordinary, brilliant, lovely. I fucked her. And you'd still be fucking her too, Bill, if you hadn't fucked everything up. Well, I think I'm just going to take her too. Big dick swinging. And Riker flips the table over on him and starts talking about how, no, you got me all wrong, man. If you hooking up with her makes her happy, I would be thrilled. You know, you're not a bad dude. You just don't have any values, except the value of this eBay auction, of course. And Deanna's the perfect woman to bring some meaning to your sad, sorry, pitiful existence. Dick swinging, he gets up.
He walks out.
Yeah, swaggers out of the bar. This was top tier frakes.
I was cheering. I was so cheering for that. Back on the bridge, Worf reports that the main Ferengi vessel is moving out of orbit and they're approaching the entry to the wormhole. And Picard checks to see if Goss is still on board, and no, he's not. He's in that ship. And to make matters worse, they're powering missiles. And so he hails the Ferengi, and Goss says that I've learned from a little birdie, basically told me that the Federation has manipulated these negotiations from the very beginning and has signed a secret agreement with the Barzans. And of course, Picard's like, no, that's not actually true.
I think I can take a good guess who the informed source might be, though.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And he, argues it's not true. You were welcome to the proceedings. They ignore them. And guess what they do? They fire a missile at the opening. So they put it on screen, and Picard tells Worf to destroy the missile. And he does. He destroys the missile before it reaches the wormhole.
I know the answer is Space Navy, but why does everybody else have torpedoes and these guys have missiles? The difference between the two is that torpedoes are specifically an underwater thing and missiles travel through air.
But they say photon torpedoes, though.
Yeah, because remember, the beginning of Star Trek was, this is the Space Navy. So we used all nautical terms for everything.
Okay.
But that would be highly inaccurate. It wouldn't be torpedoes, it would be missiles.
Maybe they forgot. I don't know.
Anyway.
They switch really quickly to these transitions are killing me. But they switch to the observation lounge where Bhavani and Riker are talking or just about to talk with Ral, and then there's a red alert sound. Riker calls the bridge to see what's going on, and Goss fired a missile. So he's on his way, and he leaves Ral and Bhavani in the observation room.
At the beginning of that scene, it seems like Bhavani is considering them both equally.
Mm-hmm.
If only there was just some defining factor to, separate one from another and help me decide between you,
Yeah, and of course, it's a perfect time for this
Mm-hmm.
act of aggression from the Ferengi.
Raul seizes on the opportunity. Riker gets up and leaves. And Raul's like, he reads Bhavani and tries to use her insecurities against her and says, this seems like a Federation Ferengi thing. And again, do you really want your people to be caught up in all of this? You know? And out on the bridge, Picard and Goss are arguing. Goss says his men are prepared to die. And Troy's like, nah, he's lying.
They're a bunch of fucking cowards. They would never be prepared to die for anything.
Then Bhavani and Raul bust onto the bridge, and Raul's like, hang on, fam, I got this. And everybody's like, excuse me, what? He's like, no, I'm the best situated right now because what had happened was, while this was happening, I made a deal with the Premier, and now I'd like to offer the Ferengi free access to the wormhole forever in exchange for Ferengi convoy privileges, which we'll negotiate at a later date. And Goss is like, that sounds great, and shuts down the missile launchers.
Yeah.
That was awful quick of a Ferengi to accept an offer. No negotiating back and forth?
Yeah. Bhavani apologizes for them finding out this way about her decision to go with Raul. But she thinks that the Chrysalians have a more desirable, they're peaceful, and this is kind of what they want. And then Troi.
I love this moment.
Troi pipes up and she's like, excuse me, Premier, there's something you should know. And then she senses something from Raul and she says, oh, I'm sorry. Was there something you wanted to say?
Because you got really uncomfortable all of a sudden. You can hear his asshole pucker. He knows that the shit's all about to hit the fan.
And then she says, well, I just sensed you suddenly felt uncomfortable. And he says, well, this was just a very tense situation. But she's like, well, actually, no, because during that whole negotiation with the Ferengi, I didn't sense any tenseness at all. No tension from you or the Ferengi.
And I love this. On the screen, Goss is like, well, no, wait a minute. I acted really tense. I was being very tense. What are you talking about? Performance of a fucking lifetime over here.
And then Raul tries to derail her saying, well, we're fucking, so there's a conflict of interest here. And she's like, but I'm about to clear that shit up right now.
I love this. She takes the whole deck of cards and dumps it out of the box. She's like, you guys like card games? You like poker? How about 52 card pickup? And she starts dissing Raul. He's got these powers that he told me not to tell you all about, and he's been using them to manipulate everybody. And now I kind of feel I should have told you earlier, but the truth has set me free now. So amen, hallelujah, holy shit. But you need to know something about this guy.
Mm-hmm.
And Bhavani seems truly shocked by this revelation. But no time for that. Wesley's picking up the shuttle on its way back through.
But only the Enterprise shuttle.
Geordi and Data report their findings about the one end of the wormhole being stable and the other one not. And eventually this end will become unstable too. Oh, and by the way, the Ferengi are trapped over there. And when Damon Goss calls to ask about his pod, Picard's like, point him toward the Delta Quadrant and push. He might get there in 80 years or so. Riker swings his dick over towards Raul and says, well, congratulations on your worthless wormhole. And Raul's like, hey, that's all part of the risk, man.
He's clearly not happy, but what else is he going to say?
Then Raul drops by Troy's apartment, and like a fool, she invites him in. Girl, you leave his ass out in the hallway for this.
Girl, she needs to get some balls about herself, right? That's what, at least that's what I was told. But she does. She does.
Anyway, he's come to say goodbye and explains that he had to do what he did. Bhavani was ready to choose the Federation, and so he had to change the rules. And she's like, you had to know I wasn't going to let you do that, right? And he's like, let's be honest, I was thinking with my dick.
Mm-hmm.
He does say he is grateful for what Troi did because it's made him do a little introspection, and maybe he's not as proud of who he is as he once was.
Mm-hmm.
And again, he asks her to run away with him. maybe she can help him.
He says, "You can help me change. You can be my conscience."
No.
And then he
No.
kisses her, and then she gives the most amazing line of all. She's like, "Nope, I already got a job as counselor."
Off to the next adventure, but will we ever learn what happened to those Ferengi lost in the Delta Quadrant? Believe it or not, yes.
Yeah.
Stay tuned.
Boy, I'm sure glad that's over with.
I'll be glad to be relieved of this cargo.
Me too.
It is done, and perhaps just as well.
Yeah, but you know, I learned something today.
I sincerely hope that this is the last time that I find myself here.
You just don't get it, do you, Jean-Luc? You see, of all the species, yours cannot abide stagnation. Change is at the heart of what you are. That is the exploration that awaits you. Not mapping stars and studying nebula, but charting the unknown possibilities of existence.
Holy shit, the manipulation in this episode.
Oh, man.
This dude was a smarmy, slimy piece of shit, but it did give them an opportunity to have an interesting conversation about the ethics of having these powers and using them to, an advantage.
Yeah, and it's a good thing that Counselor Troi is so ethical. I mean, she is way more ethical than him. Like, with great power comes great responsibility. And yes, he had a point about, like, she doesn't reveal that
Right.
she's a Betazoid, but she's using it as a tool to keep everybody safe. So I feel like it is different.
And I thought it was interesting when he calls her out on that, and then at the end of the episode, she does the thing he like blames her for, which is she sensed that Goss was lying and told her captain
Mm-hmm.
to take the advantage back.
Mm-hmm.
She did the thing he accused her of.
Well, you got to fight fire with fire. The reason they were in the situation was because of his lying and deceit. So
Yep. Yeah. And I think the difference in the ethics of it is they were lying and deceitful, and she was trying to bring it to truth.
Right. She doesn't ever use her powers to be deceitful. It does give them an advantage, but it also keeps them, like she said, it keeps them safe. She
Mhm.
doesn't.
Yeah.
They don't. He's using it just for profit, and I don't think that. And he's cheating people.
Mhm.
He's
Yeah.
manipulating people. So
Yeah. There was also something about that accusation he makes that made me think about, like, the words he's putting in her mouth are, it's okay when I do it, but when you do it, it's not okay.
Yeah.
Well, where else do we see that in our culture?
Yeah. Oh my God.
Yeah, all over.
In our government, but also in our relationships between men and women. That's what this whole tug of war thing is now about. Women taking back their power from these traditional relationships.
Yeah. It's also about risk taking versus playing it safe. Rahl had a decent shot of taking a big risk and winning big. Like, this was kind of a 50-50 deal whether this wormhole was going to pan out to be anything. And he took that risk and lost.
But he didn't. He could have done his due diligence. Like, if you're going to sell something, make sure it's not a piece of shit first.
Yeah.
Because then you lose your credibility the first time you sell a piece of shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like that
Yeah.
fucking Cybertruck bullshit. But you keep selling it, Nobody's gonna trust you after that.
Yeah. I'm curious why the steps of this process weren't these people discover a wormhole, they bring someone in to do some research with it,
Mm-hmm.
and then we have an auction.
No,
This was just like right to auction. Yeah.
right. We found a worm. Well, the Barzan, I guess, like you said, they're not that technologically advanced.
Right.
Only enough to send a probe through, but their probe was apparently so primitive that it didn't pick up on all the things.
I really hate how rapey this episode is.
Yeah.
There's just too many times where, and this is a show of the time, right? But
right. It's very rapey.
Yeah, there's implied consent, which is not consent. Right? Consent must be enthusiastic, clear, and consent to this does not equal consent to that.
Right.
You know, you can touch my hair, but don't kiss me.
Yeah.
Right? You
Yeah.
got to get consent for each step of the process.
Yeah.
And it felt like she was manipulated, and in it being a manipulation, it was rape.
Yeah. But like I said, it was in that time, this was seen as like romance and sexual tension and consensual, and it was everyone thought it was probably hot at that time. But now
That foot scene was pretty hot.
I don't like this. Who get turned on by some greasy feet? Like this, some greasy ass feet.
She had cute feet.
Oh, she did. But
Whoever she was.
everything was greasy. Yeah. Who was the foot model?
It may have been Marina. I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. Everyone was blinded by greed in a way. Like the Ferengi, of course, they're always greedy. But then everybody was wanting to, the Caledonians and the Barzan. I mean, everybody was just greedy.
Yeah.
How can we exploit this thing?
Yes. Did anybody die in this episode?
No, not really.
Nope.
No. Yeah.
Nope. Just Ral's boner at the end. maybe.
Yeah, that's it. The death of a boner.
We can handle all the pleasantries later. Now, let's get down to business.
I am willing to pay handsomely for you.
I think you've had a little too much to drink.
Now, what do you know about my money?
Your money.
The money he stole!
You stole his money?
Those vouchers I gave you were every bit as good as Latinum.
You can spend Latinum almost anywhere. Those vouchers are only good at your bar.
All right, then, as always, we want to thank everybody who supports the show. We want to give a special shout out to our founding admirals. Thanks to Allie, Peter, Sarah D, Bruce, the Bear and Curd podcast, and some call him Tim. Thanks so much, everybody.
Thanks, patrons.
Captain, Starfleet Academy is requesting an update on our estimated arrival.
Finalists, please take your seats.
I must admit you have a very fast mind.
Once I realized it was a trick question, there was only one answer.
Although only one student will be chosen for the Academy, any of you could easily qualify. Candidates, good luck.
You got called to the superintendent's office. It's a story I'd like to hear.
Becca's back now with the answer to this week's Starfleet Academy Cadet Challenge question for the price. Remind us the question.
This is the first time we learn about Deanna's love of what?
Chocolate.
Yeah.
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 Did I say that too?
You got it.
Okay.
Affirmative.
Yeah, we got it.
And
Hot
chocolate and dick. We learned about her love for dick.
Next week, we'll be reviewing Star Trek The Next Generation, Season 3, Episode 9, The Vengeance Factor. The crew's attempts to mediate a violent dispute between warring clans are sabotaged by a mysterious assassin. I don't remember this one either. Have you watched this season since we talked last?
I remember this one. A long time ago, I watched a bunch of episodes and then I fell asleep and left it on. This one I remember. There's this chick, and of course Riker is trying to get into her drawers. But she's like not who she says she is, basically.
Okay. That helps me none. Becca, what's our question for the Vengeance Factor?
The recording of this episode marks the reported meeting of what future real-life couple?
Wow. What?
Someone met their boo during this recording.
Yeah, who was in this episode?
I will give it to you if you can name one of the people in the couple.
I don't know.
Was this Brent?
Oh, I wasn't thinking Brent. I was thinking Frakes.
Frakes, Jeannie Francis is his boo.
Yeah, but have they been together since before Star Trek?
Oh, I don't know.
Was she in Star Trek?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I just remember Jeannie Francis from General Hospital.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. Huh.
I don't even know who Brent Spiner's boo is.
No. We're just going to have to throw spaghetti at the wall here. You go with
Brent.
one name and I'll pick somebody else.
I'll go with, like, who else could it be?
Dorn.
Who? Michael Dorn?
Michael Dorn.
That's right. Is he married? I don't know. I don't know anything about his life. Brent Spiner, because I know he's been with his wife for a very long time. So I'll go with Brent.
Oh, maybe it's Marina.
Oh.
I don't know.
I always think, I assume it's one of the men, too. I forget about Marina.
Yeah, that's
sexist.
I know. It's totally sexist. I don't know what's wrong with why would I do that?
Okay, well, then I'm going to go with Marina.
Okay, I'll go with Brent. And you go with Marina. No idea.
All right, and if you want to make a guess, you know how to do that. Head out to your social media, share this episode with the hashtag Starfleet Challenge. You can call us, text us, leave a message on our website. Lots of ways to get in touch with us. We'll pick out a winner, and next time on Humanist Trek, we'll discuss Star Trek The Next Generation Season 3, Episode 9, The Vengeance Factor.
It's a good day to die.
It's a good day to die.
Beverly.
Thank you. I was like blanking.
I thought you were waiting for your line.
Line!
Humanist Trek is available wherever you replicate your podcasts. Follow us on all the social medias at Humanist Trek. Become a patron at patreon.com/humanisttrek. Open hailing frequencies to podcast@humanisttrek.com and visit our website, humanisttrek.com. Humanist Trek is a production of Sarah Austin Media.